Today we're going to be playing Buy Low, Sell High. This is the Motley Fool's edition of a Reiner Knizia game that came out in 1999 called Palmyra. This one has this stock theme going on. Probably the most interesting aspects about this game are the back of the box, where you've got these two gentlemen here. These are the founders of the Motley Fool, and there they are with a copy of the game that you're holding in your hands. And the other thing about it is it's got this kind of graph here in the corner that says that this game is a 4 out of 10 in luck, a 7 out of 10 in strategy, and a 10 out of 10 in fun. And I'd be interested to find out if there are other games in the Uberplay lineup, if they're ranked anything less than a 10 out of 10 in fun, and finding out how objective that scale is. Anyway, the game is pretty much exactly what it says it is on the box. You are going to be buying stocks, ideally when they don't cost much, and then selling them when they cost more. So it's an economic game. I'm going to set it up and show you how to play it. Okay, so here's what you're going to see in your copy of Buy Low, Sell High. You're going to have stocks in 3 different colors. You're going to have a deck of cards. You're going to have these little jester hats, which are going to be used to track how much money you have on hand during the game, which is this score track out here along the edge of the board. You're going to have your rule book, and you're also going to get this, I don't know, this seems to be like some kind of brochure for the Motley Fool, and I think it's interesting that it was included with this board game as this sort of means of advertising, and you've got information about the various people who will give you stock tips and their respective blogs. So that's something that you might find in your copy of the Motley Fool's Buy Low, Sell High. Okay, setup for this game, it's pretty simple. You're going to give everybody their jester hat and put it on this space by the 50. Everybody starts with $50 cash on hand. Then you're going to give every player, and I'm setting this up for a 2-player game, you're going to give every player one of each of the 3 different types of stocks. Once you've done that, all remaining stocks that are left in the piles are going to go on the board, starting with the 24 space and working down. So you're going to take them and, put them on the space like so. And I'll go ahead and cut once I've finished doing that, because it's surprisingly time-consuming. Once you have the stock pieces all out there, you're going to take these cards, shuffle them up, and deal 5 to each player. So the gameplay in Buy Low, Sell High is really simple. You have 3 options on your turn. You can buy or sell up to 1 stock from each industry. You could buy or sell 2 stocks from the same industry, or you could do nothing. And then once you're done taking whichever of those 3 things you choose, you would play a card from your hand onto one of the slots at the center of the board. The game is played over 3 rounds, and a round is determined by the number of slots for your player count that are covered up by cards. So in a 2-player game, you're only going to play cards on the spots with 2 jester hats. In a 3-player game, you're also going to include the 3 jester hats. In a 4-player game, you'll use all of the slots. So once all of those slots are covered up, then the round will end. You'll do some upkeep, and then you will start the next round. There's a special rule for the first round of play only, where a starting player is only allowed to buy or sell a single stock. The second player can only buy or sell 2 stocks from 2 different companies, and then from that point onward, actions are restricted. So it's just a little rule that's there to prevent the start player from gobbling up a ton of really cheap stocks and getting an early advantage. To buy a stock, you will just pick up the stock and pay whatever the amount was that was underneath the stock that you just picked up. So in this case, that would have cost $11, and you take your marker and you go down $11. You bought that stock. Remember, you can only buy up to one of each stock with one action, or two from the same stock. If I bought a second one, then it would cost me $12 more. And you do that. So it's not like you're buying two stocks and you pay the cheapest price. You always pay the cost of whatever the stock was, where you picked it up off the board. Similarly, if I were to sell my stocks, the going rate for that stock is the lowest open space. So like if I sold this stock, it'd be $12, and then I sold another stock, it'd be $11. That would obviously move me back to $50. There are a few special rules regarding buying and selling, like you can't ever buy the last stock remaining on any stock chart. If you're selling and this 2 space is currently occupied with a piece, like if they came all the way down to here, and I'll explain how these move later on. But if this were covered up, like the selling price would still be $2. And then if you don't have any cash on hand, on this track here, if you're all the way down at the 0, you're not allowed to buy any stocks. You can't take out loans or anything. And your options at that point would be either to sell stocks or just do nothing and play a card. After you're done doing your action, you're going to play a card to an open space. And these cards do various things. You're going to have cards in all 3 corresponding colors to the stocks. And the easiest one to explain are the bull and bear cards, which are like these. So that would, at the end of the round, that's going to make the value of the green stock go down by 3 spaces. And the way you would do that, you would go 1, 2, 3 off the end, and you go 1, 2, 3. However, you're not going to do it on a card-by-card basis like as you're playing them. You're only going to do it at the end of the round. So, like I said, they range from a +3 to a -3. So you're going to do the sum at the end of the year. So I'll explain that when we get further on. But there's also this type of card, which would be +3 for yellow, and it would go the opposite direction, 1, 2, 3. But again, you don't do this as you play the cards. I'm just showing that's how things will move when we get to the point where we are adjusting the value of stocks. Another type of card is the breaking news card, which can be used to cover up a card that was previously played in that color. This effectively, increases the duration of a round. You got these dividend cards that are a picture of a briefcase. And what those are going to do is they're going to give you an amount of money at the end of the round based on how many of that stock you have and how many dividends of that stock were played onto the center of the board. There's a chart in the rulebook that explains this, but it's basically like an exponential growth of, if this were what it was like at the end of the round, then everybody who's got an oil stock would get $1 for every oil stock they have. If there was a second oil dividend card out there, then everyone would get $2 for each of their oil stocks. If there were 3 out there, then everyone would get $4 for each of their oil stocks. If there were 4 out there, then everyone would get $8 for each of their oil stocks. And if there were 5 out there, then everyone would get $12 for each of their oil stocks. So essentially what you need to know there is that the more of a dividend card that end up on the table, the more valuable that specific type of stock is going to be at the end of the round. The other type of card you'll see is this wallet with money flying out of it. And that's a fee card. And the way those work is that immediately when they're played, everyone who has that type of stock is going to pay $2 for every one of their stocks in that color. So in this case, where both players have 1 green stock, they both have to pay $2. If a player's money goes below 0, then on the next turn they have to sell their stocks in order to raise their score to 0 or higher. That's all the rulebook says about that, and I'm not entirely certain if it's saying you need to keep track of your negative values and then bring yourself up to a positive amount, or if it's just once you hit 0, you stop at 0. In our gameplay footage, we kind of didn't really keep track of it because I don't think it really made that much of a difference. But be consistent. Do one or the other. Immediately after you've resolved that, whoever played that card now has to play an additional card. So whenever you play a fee card, it effectively speeds up the round. the opposite of how the breaking news cards will slow down the round. So, you'll go back and forth buying and selling stocks and playing cards at the end of each player's turn, and then once you've filled up the number of spaces around the center of the board based on your player count, you will end the year and resolve things. First, you're going to sum up the values of the Bull and Bear cards. So, for green, you have a -3 and a +3, so the green stocks don't move at all. And if you remember, I was showing you this example earlier of, my doing something with this. Effectively, that's the way it started at the beginning of the game. If nobody had bought any green stocks, and this is what it looked like at the end of the year, it wouldn't move anywhere, and it'd just stay the same. Red would do a -1 but a +2, so that'd be a sum of +1, so, it'd take this one and move it up, like so. And yellow would have a -3 and a +2, so yellow would lose 1. Quick note on when you're moving these stock pieces, if you move up to the 30, you can have as many pieces as you need to on the 30. It doesn't matter. You can keep moving pieces up there. So, this will just keep going up. And the same thing goes for the 2. You can just keep stacking pieces on that end as you're dealing with the pluses and minuses. Then you would resolve your dividend cards, so everybody who has dividends would get dollars based on the dividend chart. So everybody with an oil, in this case, would get $1. Once you're done resolving the card, you're going to take everything that was played and shuffle it back into the draw pile. You're also going to, in player turn order, have the option to discard one or more cards and swap them out with new cards from the deck. It's important you do it in this order where you have an opportunity to get cards that were played in the previous round. And once you do that, the cards that were discarded in this way will get shuffled back into the deck again. So you gotta shuffle the deck twice if anybody decides to discard and redraw any cards. Just make sure that everybody ends up with 5 cards in their hand, and then you're ready to start the next round. You keep going in the same player turn order. Once you've played 3 rounds, the game's going to end, and you're going to do this final phase where each player in turn order is going to cash out by selling 1 stock at a time. So you'll want to pay attention to what everyone else at the table has, and, if you're the only person with oil, then sell that last and sell your other things first so you can get a good price on them. And then you just got to pay attention to how much money you're getting per stock as you're selling it to make sure you do it correctly. Once everybody's sold off all their stocks, whoever has the most cash in hand, the furthest on the cash track on the outside of the board, is the winner of the game. Are you ready to buy low and sell high? You are the start player.
That's true.
Technically, the way you're supposed to determine start player is whoever bought stocks most recently, but, it's neither of us.
Yeah.
So, it's you.
Okay. Full disclosure.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I'm going to be awful at this game.
That's fine. I think I'm not going to, strategize at all and just go for it.
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. That's pretty much what I'm doing, too, because, I don't know.
Okay, so as the first player, first round only, you are limited to only buy one stock. I am going to be limited to buy 1 stock from 2 separate companies.
Yeah.
So basically, I'll buy whatever you don't buy.
I guess I'm going to buy retail.
Okay. So that's
bump me
10
down
big
10.
Bucks.
Yep. And I get this one right here to add to my retail collection.
Okay, so then you got to play a card.
I'm going to bump the value of retail, I think, with this bull.
Okay.
And then I draw a replacement card?
You do.
Oh.
Alright. I'm going to buy retail.
Okay. $11.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna buy.
Ooh, some technology. Risky.
And then we are going to get on this retail train.
No.
Yeah.
Let's see. I can now buy as much as I want. One from each or two from the same one.
Yeah. Or nothing and just play a card.
You didn't buy into oil, which makes me suspicious.
Maybe I'm just
biding your time?
No, I'm just concerned about global warming.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You're investing in
the future.
Electric cars.
Yeah. And
car lots.
Shopping malls, presumably.
Shopping malls. Okay, I'm gonna buy. I think I'm gonna buy oil and retail.
Okay.
So 22 for me.
Yeah. Play a card.
Oh, true. Keep retail going.
Yeah, okay. Just remember, it can't like go, past 30. So, okay. I'm gonna buy another tech.
Okay.
Which you haven't bought into, which leads me to believe that you're gonna sink it. And
can neither confirm nor deny.
Great. What have I got? I've got. I'll buy one more retail.
Okay.
$4.
Oh.
We are going to drop that down.
Oh, wow. I will. What? That would be 23. I can't afford 23. So I can buy one thing.
Or you're just not.
That's true.
You could sell.
That's true. I'm going to go ahead and buy one tech.
Okay.
For the 12.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And then I'm going to get dividends going for retail.
Okay. I'm gonna sell my oil.
Mm.
Get $11. And
Oh. You know what?
what's that?
I don't like that.
Oh. Is there gonna be some breaking news in the oil industry?
I might just sell both my oil at 10. I am. I'm going to sell both my oil at 10.
Okay. So it's up
I
to
don't
you.
like that at all.
Do you want $18? You want to keep riding this oil train? You only got 3 more spots in the year.
I know.
And then it's going to drop and be worth even less. Unless you cancel that one out.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and sell it.
Okay.
Get 18.
4 big bucks. Well, we both have pretty much the same thing going on.
Yeah.
$15. I can afford another retail, so I will.
Yeah.
Put me up $1. And we are going to tech dividends out there.
Yeah.
Okay, you are going to end the year.
Yeah. I will. Man. Let's see. I would get. You're going to get. Yeah, it's just better. I'm gonna buy. I was gonna buy retail. Like, we're playing the same game right now. So. What?
Nothing.
What?
Okay.
What do you want from me?
So.
Right? No?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Unless you wanted to also sell, but if you're just buying one stock, that's it. Okay. In the year. So, we have -3 on the oil, so there's 1, 2, and oil is at bargain basement prices.
It's true.
We are going +5 on...
Yep. Which means there's those 3 move up. I thought you were trying to juke me out and you were gonna, play like a -3 on retail. Oh, those ones go all the way up to 30?
You can have an unlimited number of pieces on the 2 or the 30. So,
wow.
Super valuable retail stock.
Okay.
Now we deal with +3 on tech.
Yep. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. And now we deal with dividends. There are 2 green and 1 yellow. So you get $2 for each retail stock.
So we each get 8.
So give us both $8, and then
to 9, and I go up. Oh, I can't do math right now.
I didn't say where you were. So.
I was on 9, so to 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we both get $1 for each of our yellow stocks. You get $2 more, and I get $3 more. Okay. Now all this is swept.
Yep.
You now have the opportunity to discard anything in your hand. It's going to go first you're going to shuffle what was on the table in this stack, and then everything that we're discarding is going to get put in after we draw again. Does that make sense?
Okay, sure. So you can't get those cards again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to get rid of that.
I'm going to get rid of these two.
I'm going to get rid of 3. Okay, so that gets shuffled, and those will go in after.
They can get shuffled, yeah.
And we are 1/3 of the way through the Motley Fool's Buy Low, Sell High.
It was only 3 years?
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I thought you said it was 5 earlier. I don't think I could take it if this was 1/5 of the game. All right. 5. Oh, you get 3.
I get 3 and you get 2. Wait.
We both get 3, right? Because it's 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now those.
And then these ones get shuffled in.
Yeah. Neat.
Hope you got more useful cards. My hand was getting dismal at the end of last round.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sure. Not great.
Okay. I've got $12. I'm gonna buy oil for $6.
Yeah. That seemed like a thing that was guaranteed to happen.
And then I will these bad boys out there.
Oh, goodness. It's like we have the same hand of cards.
It's entirely possible.
I'm just... Okay, whatever. 4, 10.
That'd be
6 and 8, yeah. 12. I want to pay the price that's visible when I pick it up.
So you're down to $5.
Yeah.
Oh. Man.
I know.
Well, I have no money. I'm gonna sell. Get
Every turn. Like, I know what I'm gonna do, and then you do it.
$50.
Oh, it's awful.
And then I'm going to dividend. So $2 per stock you own of that. So it's $4 that I lose. You have to sell on your next turn to make up for how you have no cash on hand. Oh, and I also have to play another card, which I will put that down.
Miserable, like.
Okay. In order to raise his score to 0 or higher. So, I assume you have like negative $2 right now?
I don't know. I didn't pay any attention. I'm going to sell 16 and 15.
Okay.
So I go to 31. Or whatever you think I am. I don't know.
I think you're at 29. I wasn't really paying attention to where you were before before that happened. And whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Card?
I can't buy 2, can
No.
I? No, I don't think so. Or does it go on the top?
It would cover up something.
Okay, so that's what I thought. So basically that like extends us by 1 round? Or 1...
Kind of. I mean, like, I played the card that made it so I put down 2, so we're more or less at the same pace as we would have been, because I played 2 cards. Okay. I was also able to dump cards by doing that, because I got 2 new cards in that turn, which was nice. Just sell my other 2. Yeah, entirely. 2 and 20.
Buy oil at 10 and at 11.
Okay. I'll buy... Yeah, I'll buy oil at 12 and 13. So if you want to move me down 25. I'm right in front of you.
Yeah. So what?
69.
25, yeah.
It's not what I wanted to play. Ignore that.
I didn't see what it was, so it doesn't matter. Just cut it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, you can definitely tell that we were playing this game after I got off work. Left at 8 left, so I can't buy anything. Do I want to sell? No. I think I'm not going to sell or buy.
Okay.
Do I have another option?
No, you just
I don't
play a
think so,
card.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Draw a card. I'll buy oil for 14 and 15.
Yeah.
So it's 29.
29.
So I should be at 40.
Yeah.
I've lost $10 over this game.
Man. Oh no. Terrible. Man, you're gonna start the next year again, like.
Unless you play one of those fine cards, or I guess no.
Pretty much only breaking news.
If you play breaking news, yeah.
Well, I still can't afford anything. I still don't want to sell. I'm going to play breaking news.
Okay. Oh, no! You shot us both in the leg. Well, that's how it goes, I guess. Get $1 for each of my oil. I guess
well, yeah, that's what's going to happen right now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna buy I'm gonna buy one oil and one tech. So that's 31.
Hey, welcome to the 9 Club.
Yeah, the under $10 club. We're great at stocks. I'm gonna put down a card for it. Okay. All right.
Good.
So, green is gonna go +1.
Yep.
Red goes +2. And that's it. Dividends. Each of our oils gives us $1. So you get $4. I get $7. And then
Your techs give you $1.
I get $4. Okay. How many cards do you want to get rid of? Oh, these come off the board. Get shuffled into the deck. Most of them.
My hands.
I'm going to be getting rid of 5.
Wow.
Yeah. That's kind of close. Yep. Extending that year. Two-thirds of the way through the Motley Fool's buy low, sell high.
Looking forward to being done.
Put that right on the box.
I actually don't need to shuffle because we won't get any more cards. Well, that's not true.
Yeah, we're still playing the game.
Yeah, I was thinking at the end of the round. Because I wish we weren't going to get any more cards.
Okay. You are starting this year out. You wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
Oil and retail are worth the same amount.
Yeah.
You can sell up to 1 of each stock or 2 of the same stock. Or throw us all for a loop and don't do anything and just play a card.
No, I'm gonna... I'm gonna sell 2 oil.
Okay.
It's $38.
$38.
You want to put me up at what, 50? 38 from 12? 40? Yeah, 50.
What card are you gonna play? Okay.
Oh, man.
That's got $20. I will sell 1 oil for 16.
I'm going to buy retail at 20 and at 22.
And then 22 and 24?
Yeah, 22 and 24.
Okay, so $46. Put you at $4. Card.
My cards are really bad.
Oh. $36. Buy tech. 16. Charge me 20.
I'm going to not buy or sell.
Okay. Okay, I guess I'm gonna buy back the oil that I sold earlier. That's changed. Get right back down to where we were. +2.
I really don't know what the worst thing for me to play is.
Well, Suspect we're both going to find out what the worst cards we could play are.
I guess the least bad card I can play is that.
Okay. I'm gonna do nothing. Do that.
No, that's the least bad thing I can play.
One more round. I was really hoping you'd be forced to play some garbage thing.
If I hadn't drawn that card, I would have had to either
It was a gamble.
subtract 2 from each of my stocks and retail, lost dollars for all of my retail, or given you more money for all of your stock and oil.
Yeah. I have all green cards in my hand, so that was,
wow.
Where I was at too. Okay. So, end of the year, yellow is going to lose 1.
Yeah.
Red gains
1.
1. Wait.
No, gains 2. Green loses 2.
Loses 3. It's a -3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is.
Okay. Okay, so dividends.
Yep. Okay, so I get $2. And go to 6. You get $7.
Yeah.
So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put you at 11.
Okay. Now, in turn order, we sell off our stocks.
Yep. Which starts with you because I went last.
So I sell my oil for 20.
Okay, so you go to 31. Obviously, I sell my oil for 18. So I go to... What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. So 24.
I sell oil for 16. So that puts me at 47.
I sell mine at 15.
Okay. So 39. Now it doesn't matter. Now
Now it doesn't really matter.
Okay. So
so you just sell all your stuff and win, and I sell my stuff.
So here, you're gonna get... Here, just add up these numbers that I'm going to say to you.
So here. Let me grab my calculator.
And I'm just going to say numbers at you.
Okay. So, calculator app. Here we go.
Okay.
Yep.
18.
Yep.
16. 15. 14. 13. 12.
Plus 39?
Yeah.
I need it 127.
Okay. I'm gonna get
clear
14, 13, 12, 11, 10. And then 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Plus 47.
I don't want to talk about it.
You gotta give me a number.
172.
Okay. Well, that was a 2-player game of the Motley Fools. Buy low, sell high.
Sell the game.
We bought low, we sold high.
Thanks for that musical rendition of your new hit single.
So the Knizia Magic strikes again with
Knizia Magic.
What are your initial thoughts about buy low, sell high?
Okay. First, in the interest of admitting our bias, how do you feel about economic games in general?
I think they tend to be boring and dry. And it's a hard sell, usually, getting people to want to play economic games. And we talked about this a lot with our video for Acquire.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing game, but like trying to convince someone, hey, we're going to play a game about
real estate,
hotel speculation,
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind of thing, like, was fine in the 70s, but... And even, like, if you look at old, like, 80s board games and things like, oh, what are the kids into? Stocks.
How much do you feel like that is a direct result of literally everyone's bad impressions of Monopoly from their childhood?
I mean, I'd have to sit and try to think of an economic game, like a pure economic game that I want to play. And I'm sure they're out there. Like, I would play Acquire, but whether or not I like want to play it all the time is a different matter.
Mm-hmm.
There are games that are like stock hybrids that aren't as bogged down in that kind of stale approach.
Mm-hmm.
Airlines Europe comes to mind as a game that's about like you buy stocks in the airlines and then you improve their standing in Europe. And I think that's a really solid game, but it's not a pure economic game because you've got other things going on.
And it has a really like effectively used theme.
Mm-hmm. Whether or not I think people don't like economic games because of Monopoly specifically, I don't know if that's quite true, because I think economic games are deserving of their reputation oftentimes, and this one is a situation where I think if you showed this to someone who had never played Monopoly in their life, they probably would not. I mean, it depends on the person, but I would imagine that they wouldn't be more enthusiastic about it just because, oh man, money. So I think this game's primary issue is that it's difficult. It's a hard sell. We couldn't convince people to come over and play it with us to do a video. And I was not, okay, that's fine. Like, I'm not going to hold that against you. Like, we got to make a video for a game called Buy Low, Sell High. Like, pass. There's no theme, it's like, it's an economic principle, and it's like, here, now, watch it happen. Be involved in the process. Isn't that great? Who was the best at buying low and selling high? You won. And that's it. So, it's, I don't, how do you feel about it, like, mechanically?
Okay, that was going to be my next question for you too, of what do you like about the game? The first thing that I like about it, I kind of like these stock pieces. How do you feel about them?
They're unnecessary. And probably drove up the retail cost of the game.
Definitely.
I don't know what the retail cost of this game was when it came out.
Because most of the time in a stock game like this,
paper money.
These would have been cards or paper money.
Yeah.
And you'd have like a cube or something that was moving on this track, and you just have, you know, your stack of different things.
Yep. Yeah,
kind of like this tactile thing that's happening here.
If anything is going to draw people to this game, it's going to be that there are these weird, chunky computers and shopping carts for you to
and oil derricks.
I feel like what's going on with all these things?
Yeah.
I don't know that that's a selling point, really. It's kind of fiddly and annoying to play with when you're adjusting the values of them and you have to take the piece from the end and move it to the other end.
But that's also kind of the thing I liked about this.
That's fine, yeah.
Like, I think there's something really kind of, I guess, like playful and kind of elegant in this idea of you have these big pieces that represent the stocks. And when the stock price goes up, you pick them up from the bottom and move them to the top, and you just stack them up here in 30, and it gets so valuable.
Mm-hmm.
There's something I really like about that.
Okay.
It just works for me, and I don't know why. I don't think it in any way
justifies the existence of the rest of the game.
Yeah. Justifies the rest of the game. I don't know what the retail cost of this was when it came out, but I guarantee it was more than I would have been willing to pay.
I can say that on the record, I paid $1 for this, new in shrink. There's someone who put it up on a local auction, and he had like 6 copies new in shrink. They started at $1. And I just put a bid down of $1 on one, and there it was. So, I mean, it's not. I'm not sure it's even like $5 worth of game for what it is. So you know, you on the one side you've got those nice chunky plastic components, this big colorful board. Mm-hmm. On the other side, you have the cards, which. Oh. Yeah.
Like, even before we get to that, you're talking about the board. Like, I get it that it's the Motley Fools buy low, sell high, but like these jester hat pieces, the jester hats all over the board.
Yeah. That's a whole other interesting element of this game. In looking at the rulebook has this kind of weird dad jokey vibe about it. It's very kind of like self-aware of like, hey, well, we're a business and we probably don't have any, we shouldn't be making a board game, but here it is and it's fun. And you want to be, anytime we mention about being being a fool is good, and you want to be a fool. And it's got like, if you play the game on a table. If you don't have a table, play on the floor. If you don't have a floor, have someone prostrate themselves and play on them. And you're not allowed to give people back rubs in exchange for monetary favors in the game. And, it does odd things like that.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, like, I don't know if this specific edition was produced as a marketing thing where they were trying to get their name out. I really don't know, because it seems like a really odd choice for a stock company, a stock trading advice column type of company, to just be like, hey, because the game existed before this, and that's what's ask you about, would you enjoy this game more if it were a Middle Eastern trading theme, because that's what the original one, Palmyra, is. Yeah,
probably not.
It has like artwork, and you got your sell your oxen and things. Yeah. But those are your choices. And then I'm not sure. Like, there are 3 editions of the game. The one that came out after this is foreign. I don't remember what country it came out in, but it has pictures of the bull and the bear from the cards on the cover of the box to just like.
So yeah, I cut you off on talking about the cards, which, wow.
Yeah.
The art on those cards is something else.
It doesn't even look like it was... Like, it looks like they paid somebody to come up with the design for the board, and it's like, okay, well, that's pretty reasonable design. It looks, kind of generic, but it's okay. It looks like you're looking at a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
But then someone else had to make the art for the cards, and it's not good.
I mean, I guess on the plus side, like, the cards are all pretty clear what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is really obvious what each card does, but wow.
I don't even know if I would say that's true, because, like, you've got the cards that are a picture of a briefcase, and that's, you're gonna get dollars per card you have of that at the end of the year.
Well, like the symbols on them, though. I mean, like there's a like the dividend cards all have that like bag of money in the top left.
Yeah,
and then have the symbol that they affect in the bottom right.
But
and they're color coded
for usefulness. Couldn't they have put the list of exponential growth on the card itself to say like, if you have this many of this card out here, this is how many dollars you'll get per stock?
Yes, this.
Instead, you have to look at the rule book because there's no other indication of what that is. Yeah. Not that maybe in a 4-player game you'd get to the point where you get 5 of one out there, but like it didn't come close to happening in our game.
So another note on the cards. Okay, so another thing I kind of liked about this game was this idea of us playing cards out into this circle and that being one full round. The like reversal of things when you cancel out somebody's card, how that adds an extra round to the game, I guess an extra turn to the round.
Mm-hmm. Or you can breeze through it faster by taking money out of people's pockets by playing the wallet card.
Yeah. So mechanically, there's something there that I like. On the other hand,
if you as the round goes on, you get stuck with
it felt like I had very few options every turn.
Yeah.
Like at the very beginning of the game when, nothing was laid out at all. Yeah, sure. I had I didn't really have options because I had a hand of 4 positive cards for retail and 1 negative card for tech or something like that. And so I said, okay, well, obviously I have to go into retail. That's the only thing I have in my hand right now. But then it was just kind of, okay, whatever I drew is dictating my strategy. It doesn't really matter what Sean does. I only have one thing I can do. Sell some oil or buy some more retail. Anything else I do would be counterproductive to what I have in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like we both had the same cards pretty much each round. At least the first round and a half.
Probably. We had, at least for the first round, we had exactly the same things happening.
Yeah.
Would you like it better if instead of being forced to... Well, I don't even know if that's fair. If you had an option to discard a card from your hand and draw a new one instead of the current structure of just play something.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would worry about someone just drawing out the game by doing that, but you definitely end up in the situation where you're just stuck with because you're not there's not enough movement in your hand, and so the cards are just there. You can dump things between rounds.
Yeah. I don't know if the solution would be having more cards in your hand, if that would at least give you some ability to make choices.
Do you feel like if you had more players that helps to resolve that because you have
maybe
more movement in the markets?
Yeah, maybe so. Though, yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna straight up say that people should not play a 2-player game of buy low, sell high.
Like most games that say 2 to whatever on the box.
2 to 4.
Yeah, Well, I mean, 2 to whatever in basically any game. Very rarely the 2-player game is actually a game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we bought stocks and we sold stocks, and then someone made more money.
Yeah.
So,
anything else you like about it?
I would say it's for an economic game, it's simple.
Sure, I'd agree with that.
If you're talking about having a game for the sole purpose of maybe teaching an economic concept to teenagers, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
There you go. Like, you buy the things when they're low, and then, like, maybe the market will change, but, like, you just have to deal with it, and then you sell the things when they're high and get money.
Mm-hmm.
I think it more or less works in that structure, and there's nothing really crazy happening. Like, all you do is buy stocks or sell stocks, or just don't and play a card. Like, you're gonna play a card regardless. So, like, you like you said, you don't have a lot of options, but at the same time, pretty much anyone could play this game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that anyone should play this game, but they could. And there's something to be said for a game that is incredibly straightforward about, this is what you do. Just do this thing and you're fine. Talking about, again, Acquire is a more complicated game.
For sure.
With not having more rules. Like, it's got, like, the same size of rule book, but it's just, like, there's a lot going on. There's not a lot going on here. It's pretty clean in terms of the rules being just what they are.
Yeah.
I didn't check to see how long our game was, but I feel like it probably was about 45 minutes to an hour, maybe.
Yeah.
Which is what it says on the box. It's, it'd take longer with more people, but it's not going to be, I would imagine, not that much longer.
Yeah, it'd only be the 4 extra rounds if you had, or the 4 extra turns each round. Yeah.
So it's fairly concise, and maybe is a good teaching tool for someone if they want to teach 2 to 4 people about economics.
Yeah.
A principle of economics. Great. The original game came out in 1999, and I don't think that this game really is in the modern market worth investing in. Like, it's doesn't offer anything that is interesting in any way. At best, it's average. I don't know that there'd be anyone who would be incredibly excited about this game. And it's probably like a 3.
Oh, it's lower than I thought you were going to come in at.
Oh, well, I don't want to play it, and I can't really recommend it based on there are just other games to play. There's so many other games that, like, why should you bother with this one?
Sure. Okay. I was going to say 4.
Okay.
And I felt like I was going to undercut you, and you were going to be like, wow, I thought it was better than that. So,
I mean, just because I did well in our game doesn't mean I think it's an amazing game.
No, I just felt like you were going to, place it a little closer to your average.
I think it's pretty significantly below average compared to, like, all these other games here. Like, I don't want to play this over anything on this wall. So,
wow.
That makes me kind of... Yeah, someone's going to leave a comment here about making something like, oh yeah, what about Gift Trap?
I was going to say Gift Trap is over my shoulder.
I would rather play Gift Trap than this, but they're not the same kind of game.
That's
but, like,
true.
The point is that, like, there are, you've got 20,000 games to choose from. Why would you choose this?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I just don't think that it's really worth anybody's time, unless there's this very specific niche of you want an economic game that's doing a very straightforward thing for a small group of people.
All right. Do you feel like a fool?
We chose to play this game, so yes. We bought low and sold high.
Yep. That happened.